What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Been driving the Evo for a few days now and has been running really good. I am gonna go ahead and pull off the injectors. I did make an appointment to get them clean and test flow. I was supposed to do it back in Hawaii in May when I was working on the car, but I never had time. And I want to make sure that the injectors are okay because the car detonated on cylinder 4 when I was racing at the drags a few years back. The only thing I did was swap the piston, new piston rings, raw bearings and all that stuff, and the car has been running really good. The injectors I have on this car are 1300 IDX, and I've been running these for almost 4 years now. Never once I got them clean. It was always running on pump gas 92 to be on the safe side to prevent detonation again. I'm gonna go ahead and get the injectors cleaned up and get those dropped off. All the injectors is all pulled out, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these labeled, put it in the bag. They will let me know all the injectors, test flow and results, and see how they perform on the machine. So I'm excited. Hopefully nothing else is weird, but then again, I want to make sure that they are working properly, which they should. Huge shout out to Ray and Dom for getting the injectors all cleaned up. They did found that there was a little gunk in it, but not too crazy. Did a flow test. Everything else looks good. Let's go ahead and install the injectors back on the car. I do have these spacers that goes on the fuel rail. What I was running was 2 nuts in between the rail and where it mounts it. So that's nice that we don't have to run this and we can run this. They didn't see anything crazy on injector cylinder 4, which is a good thing, so at least that's like a good peace of mind. Let's go ahead and install the injectors and fire this thing up. I did drive the car around like about 30 minutes in and the car runs really good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just tackle the hood. It might not come out perfect, but at least will be better. So let's go ahead and get some of these little adhesive and leftovers on and try to get this thing buff up clean as possible. This is how the hood currently looks. Honestly, can't really do much, but it is what it is. I said it looks good in my opinion. It did have a black mark here on the quarter panel, so I got that buffed up, but now there's a little chip here and here. But this is back in Hawaii, so I had a tent, and I'm assuming that when it got windy, the pipe started hitting the corner. I decided to start up Jalen's car because it's been sitting for a few days, and now we're having a random misfire. I had the car running for like 5 minutes, hold it at idle. It didn't change anything. Drove the car around, put some gas. That didn't do anything. Gonna go ahead and scan the car and see if we have any codes. The check engine light is not on, so hopefully it give us something. What cylinder is misfiring? No codes. Weird. I am gonna go ahead and just remove the spark plugs, probably just get it a little cleaned up. I don't know what the condition looks like. I think the last time I replaced the plugs was maybe a few years ago, so it might be a change. So it looks like we got something going on cylinder 2. This thing is more kind of a wet than the rest. But let's go ahead and just get this thing cleaned up, throw it right back in and see what happens. We got the spark plugs all clean, gas it out as well with fire. Of course, with the stove, I don't have torch, but let's go ahead and fire up the car and hopefully it runs good. Oh yeah, this thing has gunk in it. Yeah, look at that. This thing is dirty in here. This is what it came out in the injector. There is a strainer inside here. I don't know if you get, I'll try my best to show you guys. But that's what keeps all like the rubbish or the trash that goes, or the dirt that goes into your injector, so that way you don't have any issues. So that protected. So it's a possibility that this thing was just clogged up. That's why we're having a misfire. We can remove all the 3 injectors and clean it, but I want to put this back in, that way we can confirm that the car would actually run. And then once the car runs, then we know for sure that fixes the problem. I can pull all the 4 injectors and get it dropped off to Dom guys and have them clean it properly. Well, unfortunately, cleaning the injector didn't do any difference. I checked voltage on the plug and we're getting like proper voltage where we're supposed to, and I also double checked the injector just in case we're also getting the same voltage. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all 4 injectors and just get it clean and focus on injector 2. We're gonna go and direct power and ground to the injectors until it clicks. So for the injector dynamic for the Evo 8, they do have a label in here. If you are running the adapter that plugs in there, you are not able to see what's positive and what's negative. So looking in here, you can see the positive symbol right there. So that will be on the left, injector facing like this. I'm gonna use the Milwaukee battery. So positive is on this side and negative is on this side. You know this injector works. This is from cylinder 1. Injector cylinder 2 is what we're having issue with. It's clicking. Let's do injector 1 and just to get an idea of what we're supposed to look at. Will the car run good after we did all this? I guess we'll see. Now imagine the ignition coil is gonna fix the issue. Something I should have looked back, but being that the spark plug on cylinder 2 was wet, of course it makes sense. It's not sparking. Coil pack on cylinder 2 is probably faulty. And all this time that we wasted of cleaning the injectors and testing it and whatnot, I could at least pull the ignition coil off of my Evo and just throw it in. Don't you just like it when overthink too much and just think about like the simplest thing? Damn, I feel like a damn rookie right now, guys. It all came down to a spark plug. Initially, we cleaned 4 spark plugs. We burned it, that didn't do anything. We took out all the injectors, cleaned it. We direct power to it, that didn't do anything. We put in the JDC ignition coils, that didn't do anything. And one last thing that I did was to take one of my spark plug out of my car, put it on Jalen's car, and it just started right up and run perfectly fine. Damn, I feel so dumb. Of course it happens for everyone. I overthink myself too much, and I could have at least say like maybe we should have started with spark plugs and put new ones in, because it is like about 2 years old. I think we put like about 10,000 miles on the plugs that we replaced, but that doesn't really matter. I should have not wasted all that time doing all that, but at least to say that I know that the injectors were dirty. As right now, it's just need a new set of spark plugs. So I'm gonna run to the store, new plugs in, and should be good to go. $10 later, we got new spark plug. I'm only gonna go with one. O'Reilly only had auto light, they don't have NGK, so I'm not gonna spend 3 spark plugs on auto light. I'm gonna go order NGK copper spark plugs instead of the radium, because they're a lot more expensive. But for now, we're just gonna run one. I don't have my filler gauge with me, so I would have to somewhat eyeball it to get it close to what this plug is. Let's go ahead and clean the windshield cowl. As you can see, it's all faded along with the mirrors. I might trim coat this piece at the same time, but this needs to get trim coated. That needs to get trim coated. And maybe we'll go ahead and do the door trim as well. But eventually I would like to get this replaced, and along with the roof molding trim, because this is peeling. We trim coated Jalen's window cowl on her Evo 8, and also the mirror and this piece. They came out really nice, so this will look nice too. We are ready to prep and trim coat all these parts over here. So we're gonna apply some IPA 70% alcohol, and then once the surface is all nice and dry, we can go ahead and apply this guy over here. This trim coat from Cerakote makes a difference of all these parts. They're gonna look so much better than how they are right now. This is how it currently looks right now after we apply trim coat of all these parts. They look so nice, wet, and brand looking. Look at that, guys. Of course, you gotta have to wait for an hour to cure after you apply the trim coat. So we'll come back and we'll see what the finished result will look like. I've decided to apply the trim coat twice on the cowl and the mirror. The door trim, it looks alright. You can still see that there's like a little, like a peeling, I guess you can say, but it's not horrible. But damn, look at this, guys. That looks really nice. That looks way better. I'm happy with that. I want to take care of this K&N filter. We had this on for over 2 years. Not once we have cleaned it. So I want to go ahead and get this thing all nice and clean. Here is the product that I picked up from O'Reilly's. This is what we have to apply first is the cleaner. We're going to spray around the air filter. Leave it for 10 minutes. You don't want it to get it real dry. If it needs to be clean again, we'll apply the cleaner on top of it. Let it sit for another 10 minutes. Rinse it off and we'll see how it turns out. After a few hours, the filter is dry and we're ready to lay some filter oil on the filter. I have used the heat gun just to help it a little bit more to dry because as of right now in Vegas, it's cold. So it took a little while, but now it's nice and dry. We're gonna go ahead and use this guy to spray the filter. This will also make the filter back to red. So we're gonna spray some first layer of the filter oil on the filter, wait about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna recheck and see if what we need to fill the spot. First coat is done and look how it looks, guys. That looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down the second coat just to touch up a little bit spots of like the tight area that I didn't get, and then we'll be good from there. Alright guys, air intake is done and look how it came out. That looks so clean. Let's go ahead, install it back in the bay and see how it looks like. Air intake installed back in the bay, and what a difference, guys. I'm not sure it's gonna fade over time when the sun hits it because the vent is basically just open, but hopefully it just stays that way for a while. This car is coming along, guys, just knocking down one thing after another. It's pretty cool to see two Evos on the driveway. I think this is the first time outside together. That's sick. So we just received a few more parts that came in for my Evo. We got an alternator and brand new front brake pads and rotors. These are from R1 Concept. We also received Ditchwork fuel pump hardwire kit as well. We got the Vibrant-6 AN line that we're gonna run for the feed. Also, we do have other extra parts that's gonna be on another day. I say we made some pretty good progress on maybe 4 days of what we did on both Evos. I'm happy that we're knocking down the list of just taking care of mostly all the stuff it needs before we go ahead and focus on getting the car retuned on my Evo. Of course, Jalen's Evo needs to get retuned as well. I'm planning on to kind of change up her setup as well. That's probably gonna be later down on the road, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. Everything that we done, I'll link it down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, also like, comment, and hit that notification button. Second video of the year with my Evo along with Jalen's Evo. Hopefully we can push more video from then. Hello guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.